So today the project is coming out in the bright sunshine, making Chicago flag. Real people. Howdy folks. For those of you with a keen eye, you'll notice that I put a little asterisk by the basketball hoop at the beginning of that thing. So when I first started this project, I told the boys that I was building an art project for the basement. So first steps, I took a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, cut it down roughly to the size of a backboard, which actually it's smaller than a normal backboard. Those things are huge. I started by painting the stripes, and then I made a template for the 6-sided stars. The first template I created was a little bit small, so I had to make another one. But once I got it right, then I could start sketching them out. Next, I had to confirm placement of the inner rectangle. I was drawing it out to make sure it didn't look weird with the stripes. I didn't want it to cover up half the stripes or whatever. But since I wasn't sure where the rim was going to be mounted, I packed it up, waited for the rim to arrive, and then I could put it all together. In the meantime, I cut down the steel right angle brackets I had measured out. These will be attached to the 1x planks that I had put on the rear of the backboard, both for stability and mounting purposes. They were glued and screwed using deck screws, and then I painted over that with deck paint, which is what I was using to paint all of this because it was going to be outside most of the time. I mean, all of the time. By this time, the rim came in and I was able to confirm placement of the bolts in relation to the inner rectangle, which led me to adjust the placement of the inner rectangle. So I'm glad I waited. So, first coat, done. Here we are, back in the garage again for day whatever of quarantine. Got the second coat of paint on the flag, so now I've got to peel the paint, or peel the tape to see where we're at and see how much touch-up I have to do. Because today we need to start trying to get it up in the air. So the part that I ended up not filming was I mounted a set of steel angle mounts to the 1x planks on the back of the backboard using lag bolts that I screwed in through the steel, through the 1x, and halfway into the backboard. I then mounted a set of plain steel angle strips using lag bolts to the roof. Lastly, I used 3/8 carriage bolts with lock washers and nylon nuts to tie it all together, and then it was time to show the boys. And they loved it. It goes up there. course, I didn't get that
Careful, my buddy.
on film.
Well, it's okay.
So, all in all, it was a very fun project to put together, and we've already had several games of one-on-one and horse and been a lot of fun. Also, some scraped knees and elbows. The boys are going to love playing on it this summer while we're in Chicago for the duration. Maybe one of these days soon, we will get out of the city limits. Lastly, I used 3/8 carriage bolts. Lastly, I used 3/8 carriage bolt. Lastly, I used 3/8. Lastly, I used 3/8. Why can I not say 3/8? Lastly, I used 3/8 carriage bolts. Lastly,